Came up with.
All right, looks good. You're live. Start when you're
Okay.
ready.
Thank you very much. All right. Michelle is ill and Gary could not leave work. So they are both excused for tonight's meeting. And I'm going to get us through the agenda tonight. So I am going to call the meeting of the Historic Site Committee to order at 6:37 p.m.
That's what the residents are going to be worried about.
And I'm going to start with the roll call. In person, we have Joe Galley,
Here.
Dave Oliver,
Here.
and Tyler Keller.
Here.
And Tyler, welcome to the committee and congratulations.
Thank you.
We look forward to working with you. And we're very happy to have you with us.
My pleasure.
By Zoom, we have Ray Dale and Anita Hawkins. And I believe I saw a guest in the room. Is that correct? Yes, and that is Peter Boulay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do we have any other guests in the room?
No.
Okay. All right. Then the first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from February 1st, 2021. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I
make the motion.
move. Second.
Dave, and a second?
Second.
Joe? Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call the roll. Joe Galley,
Aye.
Dave Oliver,
Aye.
Tyler Keller, Tyler, are you going to vote or abstain?
Oh, I said aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. I didn't hear that. Ray Dale
Aye.
and Anita.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The minutes are approved as submitted. We have correspondence. A letter was received from the State Historic Preservation Office with regard to 5626 West Henrietta Road that is being considered for the National and State Register of Historic Places. And that will take place at their March 11th, 2021 meeting. I have not had any further correspondence with regard to this. I think everything is progressing smoothly for this nomination. A request has also been received from the owners of the Cobblestone at 5582 West Henrietta Road to be designated as an historic site. And this cobblestone is the Horizon Group cobblestone. It was built by Able Post, and that the public hearing for this property being designated a historic site by the town is going to be held on March 10th. Does anybody have any other correspondence for the committee? No? Okay. If not, then we'll go into old business. The first item is the election of officers. And as you can see in the agenda, Michelle has volunteered to remain as chair and Ray has volunteered to be secretary. Thank you so much, Ray, from the bottom of my heart for that. Are there any nominations from the floor? If not, then I need someone to make a motion to direct that the secretary cast a unanimous ballot to elect Michelle LaBelle as committee chair and Ray Dale as secretary for our 2021 year. Is there a motion for that?
No motion.
Joe,
No.
and a second?
Dave's got second.
All right, and we'll need to do a roll call for this. Joe Galley,
Aye.
Dave Oliver,
Aye.
Tyler Keller,
Aye.
Ray Dale.
Aye.
And Anita Hawkins.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Does anyone have any recommendations for the May Heritage Award? Not tonight.
Has the Halloran House been nominated?
The Halloran Funeral Home, I don't know. I can check that. All right, I will take a look. The list is on the website, but I'll take a look and see if it's received an award. Okay. Anybody have any other suggestions?
Tina, has Molly Nicodemus' house on Calkins Road?
It
received an
has,
award?
I believe it has, yes. Okay, anybody else, anything? All right, well, keep thinking about it when you drive through town. Keep your eyes open. If you see something that, just send an email to either Gary or myself so that we can do some history on the property and start working on the award. Okay, and now Lisa unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight. She had a closing that wasn't going well. The proposed manufacturing center for the West Henrietta Hamlet. The public hearing was reopened at the last town board meeting, and there was a fairly lengthy discussion about there's a new proposal to build a smaller manufacturing and distribution center. And there was a request that the contractor come back to the town board and with a three-dimensional view of the property so people can totally understand what will happen with the movement of the dirt from the hill to the berm. And I would recommend that you can listen to, oh, thank you, Becky. So this is the new proposal. And I don't know if was anyone able to listen to the discussion at the last town board meeting?
Yes, I was there.
You were there?
I listened in.
And Tyler, okay. Nothing's been finalized, although this seems to be getting closer to the final proposal. I don't know if Tyler or Joe, you have any comments that you wanted to make about?
Well, it's only going to be 40 foot high instead of the 50 foot.
Correct.
The parking lots are at least 150 feet away from any designated properties. And the building is at least 200 feet away.
Right, that's correct.
So
they're working to meet all the requirements that the town has proposed.
ordinances,
Right.
30 feet with building height.
40.
Okay.
It was originally going to be
50,
50.
but I thought they brought it down to 30 to be within.
No, 40.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I think we're on hold with this until there's another hearing on this property. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes, Tyler?
I think it's gonna be hard to really weigh in on this until the developer has a tenant lined up. And they basically said there that that's gonna be the last thing. They're trying to move forward with this to get approval so they can bring the tenant in. I don't know, my issue with that is, it came up in the past that, you know, do we want to have this building kind of try to look like it fits into the area rather than just being a, you know, box. That being said, I think it's gonna be kind of hard to come up with a accurate rendering without knowing who the tenant is. That's one concern I have.
Yeah, I think one of Steve's recommendations was that it looked like an old factory that would have been
Yeah.
in a town like this.
Right. The only thing is that the older warehouses and factories didn't really look very nice. They didn't spend a lot of money on the exterior of those buildings. Okay. And Lisa also let us know that there has been no change with regard to the Good Shepherd Church property and the Berger Farmhouse property. The lease agreement is still with the attorneys. Okay, the next item on the agenda, or items on the agenda, are the project reports. And I was able to speak with Larry Knockham. He is the president of the Rochester Genealogical Society, and Larry is willing to do a Zoom training for us. We're going to call it Building a House History. And the presentation will be recorded so that if people are not able to attend when it is presented, it will be available for them to watch at a later time. And it will also be available for the people who attend to watch if they need to brush up on the information. I wondered if the committee has a preference as to when this program is offered. Do you think early evening during the week is best, or do you think during the day would work for people?
I don't have a preference, Tina.
Okay,
Evenings, because a lot of people have to work.
all right.
I work, so
If we did this at 7 o'clock at night, would that be too late?
No, that would be fine.
No, it would be all right. All right. And is there a day of the week, beginning of the week, is that better? Or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All right. Then I will check with him and I will let everybody know when that will be scheduled.
Thank you, Tina.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Anita. Gary was working on the West Hamlet, and so I don't think we have anything to report with regard to that. Dave, do you have anything to report with regard to the East Hamlet?
I got 95% of the research done on the historic structures. I just need to take pictures of everything. So before the foliage comes in, I want to get that knocked out before late spring.
Okay. Thank you. And Chapman Corners, I don't think anything has changed. The supervisor did send the updated plans that I believe everybody received through an email. And there haven't been any changes to those plans since we received them.
Oh, the old ones, okay. That the old ones he sent a while back?
Yes, I think he sent them right after our last Historic Site Committee meeting.
Would it be possible to have that forwarded on to me?
Okay, Tyler, sure.
Thank you.
I'm just making a note. All right. Okay, under new business on the agenda, we have the Horizon Group Cobblestone at 5582. And as I previously mentioned, the public hearing for that will be held on March 10th. Gary took a poll by email, And everyone by consensus agreed that the property should be recommended to be receive historic site designation by the town board. However, just to formalize this, the approval by the Historic Site Committee, I'd like to have a motion from someone recommending that 5582 be designated a historic site by the town board, the Henrietta Town Board. Would someone make that motion, please?
I'll make the motion, Tina.
Anita, thank you. And is there a second?
A second.
Tyler? Thank you. All right, and then we're going to take a roll call vote. So Joe,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Tyler,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
and Anita.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, and that will make sure that everything is legal for that going forward.
Just a question on that. I was surprised that that hadn't been designated before.
Well, the way that a property becomes designated by the town board is that the property owner has to request that designation. And Mark Congdon had never requested that before.
We owned it for 4 or 5 years now?
Well, he'd been asked and he'd been invited, but it wasn't until just very recently that he decided that he would apply for the historic site designation.
I was surprised that the previous owners hadn't.
You mean before Mark Congdon?
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know what, Joe? I don't know who spoke to them. I don't know what that situation was. That would have been when Helen Elam was chair of the committee.
Camden's owned it that long?
Congdons have owned it quite a while, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And Becky's sharing a photograph with us. Thank you, Becky.
It's a very pretty picture of the house.
It is.
Nicely framed.
All right. And under new business, Gary has mentioned that we had some wonderful applicants for the vacancy on the board, and we would like to use their expertise in some of our current and upcoming projects. I'm going to have to table this because Gary's the one who is going to be working on this. So we will discuss this at our next meeting. And I think you all received an email this afternoon from Becky with regard to number 283 Castle Road. Did everyone see an email from her about that?
Yes.
For the
Yeah.
sanitary thing.
Number 283 is a cobblestone. It was built in the circa 1830, a little bit older than that. I can't remember the exact year. And the current owners of the property have requested permission to hook up to the sanitary sewer because their septic system is failing. And this property belonged to Lewis and Eleanor Heppelman. And Lewis and Eleanor, Lewis actually worked on the Manhattan Project, and his wife was a secretary for the Manhattan Project. And the house on Castle Road is one of 3 properties in the country that they owned. They owned a house in Maine. They also owned a house in New Mexico. When Louise when Eleanor passed away, her estate said that the house and the property adjacent to the house were going to be placed in trust with the Landmark Society of Western New York. And the Landmark Society sold the house and a few acres around the house. So the house at 283 is protected by a covenant with the Landmark Society of Western New York, and Becky's sharing a photograph with us of this cobblestone. Typically, any work that's done on the property is cleared by the Landmark Society. So when I saw Becky's email, I emailed Caitlin Mavis, who is the Director of Preservation for the Landmark Society, to see if she had knew about the project, and they did not know about the project. However, I talked to the Building and Code Enforcement Department, and they were able to send the plans to the Landmark Society so that they know what the proposal is for this property. According to our building department, the property owners, the Gherkins, came to the town with a need for information for connecting to any available sanitary sewer because their septic systems were failing. And the nearest connection for this property is to a manhole on Castle Road to the west. And because of the existing gradients and physical obstacles, it was necessary to design a pressurized or forced main system for the connection. It will involve a small pump station and an electronic control panel that will have a light that would go on if any part of the system were to fail. And this light will be outside, and it would be a red flashing light, but it will only be activated if the system or a part of the system starts to fail. There should not be any physical attachment to the house. My understanding is that this will be approved by the Landmark Society. They're really the connecting this property to a sanitary sewer will be much less invasive on the property than if they had to go in and dig a brand new septic system. And there isn't, at least from what I was told, there isn't anything that's going to be connected to the front of the house. If there is anything, it will be in the front yard, and it will be fairly unobtrusive because the light won't go on unless there's a failure to the system. So it's not like there's going to be a green light or a red light that's going to be on all the time. And I am wondering if the committee is willing to agree that the connection to the sanitary sewer can move forward and not need to have an Article 10 hearing by the town board.
Do we even have to do that? I mean, is the final approval by the Landmark Society pretty much a done deal for them? And in which case, why would we even need to vote? And secondly, personally, I would like to vote on something like that. They're talking about a pump station. I'd like to know where that's going, how big that is regarding the light. And then, the change you know, if it's going to the side, but I mean, a pump station, even a few feet tall and a few feet square right in front of the house would be an issue.
Okay, all right, hang on. It is a small pump station. I don't know for sure where that is going, but I mean, typically, if the Landmark Society signs off on this project, then the Historic Site Committee signs off on the project. But since, we could, and there's a certain urgency for the homeowners because their septic system is failing. I don't know how big the pump station's going to be. One thing that was suggested by the building department was that they might be able to put some, you know, appropriate shrubbery around it so that it wouldn't be obtrusive.
Well, again, I mean, how close to the house is it going to go? Because right now the house pretty much is, regarding shrubbery and stuff like that, is not necessarily historically appropriate for a house that age. So if they're going to put shrubbery right in front of the house.
Yeah, David, and I don't know if the pump station's gonna go off to the side or it's, the connection is going to be to the west of the property. So it's going to be, Becky, can you put that photograph back up for us?
I mean, I drive by it every day. I mean, I have a pretty good idea where it's all.
Right, and so to the west of that property is where there's, it looks, at least as I remember, there's a little bit more foliage there.
Yeah, it's wooded. I mean, I'm not too concerned about the digging to get to the manhole cover. It's where that pump station is going.
Right, and
Hey,
I, yep, thank
I'm
you.
I'm sending in Kevin Wilson.
Okay, okay,
Oh, good.
okay.
Sweet. We ask and we shall receive.
I thought they said something about a manhole in the front.
Yeah, well, I think the manhole cover is to the west. That's where they're connecting into the sanitary.
Oh, okay.
What's the address?
Hey, how's it going?
Becky wanted me to come in.
Yes, Kevin, thank you.
Sure.
Could you let us know where the pump station is going to be located and the manhole cover and about how big you think the pump station will be?
It's actually going to go pretty much in the center of the house on the right-of-way line. And it's no big, I don't know the exact dimensions. I believe it's just it's probably maybe 2.5 foot diameter, but it'll be at grade, so you won't see it.
You won't see it. Now that's the manhole cover?
Correct. Well, you'll see the manhole. It'll be at grade, but
Okay.
it's sticking above grade.
And what about the pump station?
So it's a mini pump station, if you will.
Right.
Right.
That's all underground. It's a pit. It's probably 6 feet deep.
So it's not going to be visible in front of the house?
No, there's no pump station per se. It's all within just think of a big deep crock that has, your sanitary goes into that, for a 4-inch line from the house or 3-inch line to the house goes into that.
Okay.
Grinder pump, and it pumps it down underground to the actual lift station or pump station that's down the road.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Yep.
All right. Does anybody on the committee, do you have any questions for Kevin?
No, that answered it.
That
And
answered it. Okay. Thank you, Kevin, so much.
here, Tina, did Roland get a hold of you?
Yes, he did.
So you're all set with all of that?
Yes, I sent everything down to the Landmark Society.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin.
And for the record, Becky, this is Kevin Wilson, Director of Building and Fire Prevention.
Thank you, Kevin. You're awesome.
Good night.
Okay. All right. Dave, does that answer your questions?
It does. Thank you much.
Okay. So, then can we have a motion Or do you just want to do consent by consensus that once the Landmark Society signs off on this project, the Historic Site Committee signs off on it also, and an Article 10 hearing is not necessary?
I will so move whichever one you wanted to do there.
Oh, okay. All right, why don't we just do a motion then? Okay, and Dave made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Joe? All right. That an Article 10 hearing is not necessary for this, for the connection of the sanitary sewer to the property at 283 Castle Road. And we'll take a vote. Joe Galley,
Aye.
Dave Oliver,
Aye.
Tyler Keller,
Aye.
Ray Dale,
Aye.
and Anita Hawkins.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. That's all that we have on the agenda for tonight. Does anyone have anything else to bring before the committee? Well, if not, then I will adjourn this meeting by consensus. And thank you for coming. And drive safely. I can't tell if it's still snowing out or not.
Thank you much, Tina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Becky, for all your help.
No problem. Have a good night.
You
Good night,
too.
everyone.